Hi everyone! Today we are going to be taking notes on page 12 on vertical angles with variables on both sides. I've drawn a diagram on page 12 that you can see on your screen. Please pause the video until you have the title, the page, and the diagram on page 12 in your notes, and then resume the video when you're ready. So, this is an example of what we did during your last in-class day. I'm just going to solve it really quickly so that I can review what we know about vertical angles. Vertical angles are made when two lines intersect and make four angles. Opposite angles will be congruent. So, 5x minus 11 equals 54. So now I'm just going to use inverse operations to solve like we've been practicing. I need the 5x by itself, so I'm going to add 11 to both sides. 5x equals 65. Divide both sides by 5. I get x equals 13. We're going to plug it back in to check to make sure that 13 is the correct value. So we plug it back in for x. 5 times x, which is 13, minus 11. All right, so I'm going to take out my calculator. 5 times 13 minus 11, and it's 54. 54, 54. We did it correctly. This is 54 degrees, and x equals 13. So now we're going to extend it a little bit further. Our next example is still vertical angles, but as you can see here, instead of having a value in one of the vertical angles, we have two expressions again. Please copy this into your notes and be ready to solve it. I paused the video to get the diagram copied in my notebook, and now I'm going to write an equation to solve and find the value of x. Because we don't have a value for one of them, a lot of us will think, well, what do we do? Vertical angles are when two lines intersect and make four angles. Once you have four angles, opposite angles will be equal. So, 12x plus 2, one angle is going to be equal to its opposite angle. No, we're not adding to make 180. As we discussed in our page 11 notes, that's only for supplementary angles. I'm going to go back to drawing a line in the middle of my page on my equal sign so that I can see what I have on each side. I have a 12x and a 2 on the left side and 11x and a 7 on the right side. I cannot combine the 12 and the 2 because one has an x and one doesn't. I can't combine the 11 and the 7 because one has an x and one doesn't. I also can't combine the 12 and the 11 because they're in opposite portions of the equal sign. I can also not combine the 2 and the 7 because they are also on opposite sides. So what I need to do is I need to get the x's on one side and the numbers on the other. The way we do that is through inverse operations, which we've been practicing. So if I have 12 x's on one side and 11 x's on the other side, I have 11 x's that I can take away from both sides. So I'm going to start by taking 11x from the right side and 11x from the right side. When I do that, that gives me 12x minus 11x, which is 1x. I did nothing to the 2, so it comes down, equals 11x minus 11x makes no x's. And I did nothing to the 7, so the 7 comes down. From here, it's our simple two-step equations. I want 1x by itself, so I need to get rid of a plus 2. The way to get rid of a plus 2 is to minus 2 on the left and minus 2 on the right. When I do that, I'm left with 1x (2 minus 2 makes nothing) equals 7 minus 2, which is 5. In math, we don't usually put a 1 in front of x. We just say x equals the value, which is 5. So now we're going to plug it in to check to make sure that I didn't make any mistakes in my math. So I'm going to plug 5 in to both expressions and see what happens. So 12 times x, which is 12 times 5, plus 2. On this one, I'm going to do 11 times 5 plus 7, because we said x equals 5. So now I'm just going to plug that in. 12 times 5 plus 2 is 62. So this one is 62 degrees. 11 times 5 plus 7 is also 62. But wait, those equal the same number. They should, because vertical angles are equal to each other. I have put up 2 more problems that we're going to do in our notes. I'm not going to draw the diagram for number 4, but I am going to draw the diagram for number 3. Please pause the video and get diagram 3 copied into your notebook. Vertical angles are when 2 lines intersect and opposite angles will be equal to each other. It doesn't matter which expression you start with, but both angles should be equal to each other. I'm going to start with 9x minus 3 equals 7x plus 15. Again, it doesn't matter which expression you write on which side. I'm going to draw my line so I can see that I have 2 sides. Going back to what I just discussed, the x's can't be combined because they're on opposite sides. The numbers can't be combined because they're on opposite sides. And things on each side can't be combined. So what we're going to do is we're going to get x's on one side and numbers on the other. If I look, I have 9 x's on the left and 7 x's on the right. That means I have at least 7 x's on both sides that would balance and cancel each other out. So I'm going to start by taking away 7x from both sides. When I do that, I'm left with 2x. I did nothing to the minus 3, so it comes down, equals 7x minus 7x makes no more x's, and then the 15 comes down because I did nothing there. I'm going to solve for 2x, so I put my finger over it, and I need to get rid of a minus 3. The opposite of minusing 3 is adding 3 to both sides. So that gives me 2x. 3 minus 3 is 0, equals 18. My last step here is I need to get 2 separated from the x. So I divide by 2 on the left and I divide by 2 on the right. And I get x equals 18 divided by 2 is 9. Now we're going to think, oh, we're done. We got our answer. Nope. The next step is to check it. So I plug my x value back into each expression to make sure I didn't make any mistakes in my math. 7 times x, which is 9, plus 15. 9 times x, which is 9, minus 3. All right. 7 times 9 plus 15 is 78 degrees. 9 times 9 minus 3 is 78 degrees. Our opposite angles are equal. We did it correct. For number 4, I'm not going to draw its diagram. I'm just going to write the equation and solve it. So for number 4, I have vertical angles that are going to be equal. It doesn't matter which expression you start with. You just need to write one expression is equal to the other. I'm going to start with 14x minus 2 equals 10 plus 12x. Please pause the video if you need to write that problem down in your notebook. I haven't left myself too much space here, so hopefully I can get this all done before I run out of space. I have 14x and a minus 2 on one side, a 10 and a 12x on the other side. I have x's on both sides. I'm going to take away 12x from the right and 12x from the left. When I do that, I'm left with 2x minus 2 equals 10, and the 12x's cancel. From there, I'm going to get the 2x by itself. I need to get rid of a minus 2, so I'm going to add 2 to the left and add 2 to the right. That leaves me with 2x equals 12. And my last step then is to divide both sides by 2, which gives me x equals 6. So again, we're going to think that we're done, but we're not done because we actually need to check to make sure that we solve this correctly. So I'm going to take that 6 and I'm going to plug it into both equations to make sure I have done it correctly. Because I didn't draw the diagram, I'm just going to plug my 6 in here and plug my 6 in here, but I'm going to write it over here. 14 times 6 minus 2 needs to equal 10 plus 12 times x, which is 6. Order of operations, we do multiplication first. 14 times 6 minus 2. 14 times 6 minus 2 gives me 82 for the left-hand side, equals, multiplication comes first, 12 times 6 plus 10, 82. So the measure of the missing angle would be 82 degrees and x equals 6. And because my values equaled each other, I did it correctly. Please be ready to practice vertical angles with variables on both sides during your next in-class day. And if you have any other questions, please make sure you touch base with your teacher. Thanks for watching.